Look at your phone's GPS right now. Do you see that little blue dot sitting on the map? Notice how it shivers even when you are perfectly still. People say it is just signal interference or a calibration error, but that is a lie. That jitter is the sound of something else trying to occupy the same physical coordinates as you. It is trying to nudge you out of your own space. I used to work back office for a shipping firm in an old brown tiled commercial building on Dunhua South Road in Taipei. It was one of those 80s buildings where the elevator makes a heavy thudding sound and the air always smells like damp carpets and old paper. One night I was staying late to finish an Excel sheet for a foreign client. I remember the exact feeling of the desk because I had taken off my new leather shoes because they were pinching my heels and I was sitting there in just my socks. My right middle finger had a tiny paper cut from an A4 sheet earlier that day, and every time I hit the enter key, it gave me this sharp, annoying sting. The office was dead quiet because the central AC had shut off at 10, and the only sound was the ice cube in my thermos, clinking against the metal side as it melted. I reached for my lukewarm coffee, and that was when I saw him in the reflection of my monitor. There was a man standing by the photocopier in the corner where the light had been out for weeks. He was tall, wearing a dingy mustard-colored jacket that looked like it belonged to a factory supervisor from the 90s. He was facing the machine, but his head was hanging down at such a severe angle it looked like his neck had been snapped and his face was pressed flat against the scanning glass. I did not scream because my first thought was just confusion and a bit of embarrassment that I was not wearing shoes. I called out to ask if he was from the night shift, but he did not move. Then the sound started. It did not come from the room, but from inside my own skull, like two pieces of coarse sandpaper being rubbed together. It was a dry, rhythmic rasping that sounded like EXCEL row 204 missing data. It was not human speech. It was the sound of a system error being forced through a throat filled with dust. I froze in my chair as the man started to move. He did not turn around. He stayed in that snapped neck posture and began to back up toward me. His feet did not lift off the ground. It sounded like he was being torn off the carpet like old tape. Shh. With every step, his joints made a wet, cracking sound, like wood breaking underwater. He was getting closer, and I could see the grime on his collar and the white dust on his shoulders that looked exactly like the grout they use for the building's exterior tiles. My mouse cursor was jumping erratically across the screen, even though I was not touching it. I tried to shut off the monitor, but my hands were so clammy, the power button would not register. He was 5 meters away when I finally hit the back of my desk and knocked a stack of folders onto the floor. He stopped. His head was tilted 90 degrees back facing the ceiling, but his mouth was hanging open like a black void with no tongue or teeth. The sandpaper voice came again, much louder this time, vibrating in my teeth, saying, "Formula wrong, client will not pay." I did not wait. I bolted for the elevator in my socks, leaving my shoes under the desk. I watched my reflection in the elevator doors, and I swear my shadow turned around half a second after I did. The next day, the maintenance guy went to fix that light and told us the wiring had been twisted into a braid by some incredible force that had warped the metal ceiling frame. I checked my file and found the exact error the voice had mentioned. But the thing that keeps me awake is my Google Photos. I found a picture taken at 3 in the morning that night. It is a shot of my empty desk, but underneath the chair there is a pair of bare feet. They are pointing the wrong way. Now I want you to put your phone flat on the table and look at the front camera lens. Do you feel the air in your room getting heavier? Does that little blue dot on your map seem to be moving toward a coordinate on Dunhua South Road? If your screen flickers or your GPS starts to jump, tell me exactly where you are sitting right now. Or maybe don't. because if the system is already loading, you might not have enough reality left to type a reply.
The story has ended, but they have noticed you now. You are already deep within the hollows. To ensure you find your way back, or perhaps to ensure you never leave, you must mark your presence. Like the shadow you saw, share the whispers you heard, and if you are truly brave, subscribe to Midnight Hollows, because some things only exist in the dark. See you next midnight.